Good evening. Welcome to the City of Hartford's Public Works, Park, Recreation, and Environment Committee. Let's see, we're a live broadcast, HPA-TV, Comcast, and Frontier Government Channels 96 and 6032. It also will be streamed via HPA-TV.org, the HPA-TV Facebook page, and HPA-TV's Roku TV, Apple TV, and Amazon TV apps. It will also be rebroadcast and made available on the HPA-TV YouTube channel. So that's always a lot to say. I am Councilwoman Marilyn Rossetti. I am the chair of this committee. And with me tonight, I have Corporation Counsel Jim Del Visco, Director of Public Works Michael Looney, Frank Della Ripa from Public Works. Frank, tell me your title again. I'm sorry and I apologize.
Mayor.
Thank you. And Frank, I don't even know what I wore yesterday, so don't you hold that against me. And Councilman John Gale, who is a voting member of the committee. And we are a committee of two tonight, but very powerful. And I would like to call the meeting to order, but also make a motion to move agenda item 2.4 to agenda item whatever 2.0, so we don't have to change 2.1. So I have a motion.
I second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
So that now makes 2.4 2.0, which is Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution confirming the appointment of Maria Nunez to the Hartford Golf Course Oversight Commission. And I can't say enough how excited I am by this, to have a woman on the commission. It's very exciting. Obviously a avid golfer, because I believe she is golfing as we speak. So Maria, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be on the commission?
Hi, my name is Maria Nunez. I am a Hartford resident. I was born and raised in Hartford. I lived my entire life here and half of it in Puerto Rico. I love my city of Hartford. I am very much part of it. I have two children that I've raised here. They were born in Puerto Rico, but I brought them in when they were very young. And one of them attends a correct school. The other one is already a woman working and being productive. I currently work for Greater Hartford Legal Aid as an interpreter and a legal secretary. I also went to Southern Connecticut State University and a university in Puerto Rico, which I graduated from. And I want to be on the oversight committee because I want to give back to the city that saw me grow up. Thank you.
Excellent. Councilman Gale.
So talk to me about golf.
Golf. I've been golfing. My first experience golfing was right out of high school. I went to be a gym teacher growing up. I've always been an athlete. I played volleyball at Southern. I did gymnastics, softball. So I love sports. During the pandemic, and because obviously I'm not as young as I used to be, during the pandemic, I ran into some girlfriends that asked me, Maria, do you golf? I said, I haven't golfed in years, but I wouldn't mind trying it again. And I've been golfing since 2019. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I am a member of the Connecticut Latinas golf team. We have a great group of ladies here. It's always a good time. It doesn't matter if it rains. It doesn't matter if it's cold. So we make it out here. We have such a great time.
Well, thank you very much. It sounds like this is a perfect fit for you.
Yes, it is.
So, and I know that the chair would certainly comment and thank you for volunteering to be on this commission. We have many commissions in the city of Hartford, and we need folks like yourself to step forward and volunteer their time. And, together we all make the city work. All, as you said, doing your part. You want to do your part, and it's it's an incredibly important part. We have to have oversight on our golf courses, and we need make sure that people are, as we all do, we're constantly making sure that things are just headed in the right direction and accomplishing the purpose for which they're set out. So thank you for coming forward, and we tell all the prospective commissioners, our door is always open. It's a two-way door. If you find on the commission that there's something that you feel council can be helpful with, then you let us know. We'll turn around and tell you, go out there and figure out how to make a lot of money with these golf courses.
And to Councilman Gale's point, I have to applaud Mike Looney and his team. The golf has and other people who have worked on golf has really turned around in the city of Hartford as far as our revenue, and certainly we look to it as including more people from the city of Hartford, but we also know it brings in people from outside the city, which is great too. We love people to come into our city and have a good experience. And as Councilman Gale alluded to, I always like to thank somebody who wants to give their time, because I know people always have more to do than sit on a commission, but this is exciting, and golf is exciting in the city of Hartford. So with that said, is there a motion to
yes, I will happily make a motion to send the appointment of Maria Nunez back to council with a favorable recommendation.
And I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. It passes. It will be at the next council meeting. And thank you again. And as I said, you're certainly welcome to stay through the meeting, but you don't have to. So thank you very much.
I'm on my 8th hole, so I'm going to pass.
I think they say something like hit them straight or something. So
yes,
good job. All right.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
So bye-bye. That brings us to agenda item 2.2, 2.1, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to accept a grant from the State Department of Economic and Community Development in the amount of $1 million to make capital and other improvements at Elizabeth Park. It was an agenda item 3.4 at the council meeting on 9/12/22. And here is DPW Director Mike Looney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Councilman Gale. Yes, we're here tonight on a matter of a resolution that would authorize us to accept a grant from DECD, amount of $1 million for improvements at Elizabeth Park. This is one of two items for Elizabeth Park that we're presenting tonight. This first grant from DECD is $1 million. This grant is going to pass through to the Elizabeth Park Conservancy for them to spend on the capital improvements, which are going to include the restoration of one of the historic but badly deteriorated buildings in Elizabeth Park, the gardener's house attached to the greenhouses that are currently being renovated. The building really needs to be put into functioning shape in order to provide a workspace for the park's indoor gardening work, such as when they do seed planting and potting. In addition, the bond funds will help fund mechanical improvements to the 3 greenhouses that are attached to the gardener's house. And also this will include exterior and landscaping improvements that will be made in the areas around the greenhouses and the gardener's house and to nearby areas. These improvements are really designed to make the paths and the visitor areas more visitor friendly and more handicap accessible. As I'm sure you're aware, we've recently completed a parking lot project over there and expanded the number of spaces that are available for folks to park. So we want to continue to build on that momentum there. So as part of this, we need to enter into an assistance agreement with DECD, and that obviously requires council approval before the mayor can go ahead and do that. So happy to take any questions on this item.
Councilman Gale.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no particular questions. I'm a frequent visitor to Elizabeth Park, and so I've sort of followed the progress of what has been going on, and I know from which Director Looney speaks. I've seen the renovations of the greenhouses are underway right now, and I know the shape that the other building that he speaks of is in. So they've there's been a lot of great progress made over at the park over the years. So it's thank you, State of Connecticut. Happy to receive this and pass it through.
And Director Looney, isn't this why we had to move the monkey tree?
Yes, Madam Chair, I believe this is connected to that.
Monkey Gate? Okay, so we have before us, would you make a motion, Councilman?
Sure, I move to send this back to council with a favorable recommendation.
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye. And let
Opposed?
me,
Yep.
Well, I
Passes.
just-
Go ahead, Councilman.
no, I want you, once you're done with your, motion passed, I just want to mention, I don't know if anybody's watching, but for anybody that's watching, the Pond House has gone, every year they seem to be going above and beyond in their Halloween displays. So certainly if you have kids out there, take the opportunity to go down to Elizabeth Park and check out the Halloween display that's right around and in the trees and in the woodlands and down by the pond, but it's all right around the Pond House.
Good to know, Councilman, even though Halloween decorations scare me, but okay.
Yeah, well, this is right up there. We had one little kid who was laying down on the ground and didn't realize it, and then looked up in the tree and there was a skeleton up in the tree.
You sure that
hanging
wasn't,
down.
you sure that wasn't me? So, okay. So that brings us to
So that was
agenda
the
item.
scream I heard.
Yeah, that was me from over here. So that brings us to agenda item 2.2, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to accept $350,000 grant from DEEP and to execute related documents for the purpose of making numerous capital improvements to the east lawn of Hartford's Elizabeth Park. Agenda item 3.5, council meeting 9/12/22, presentation by Director Looney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, we're here on a matter involving Elizabeth Park, this time on the opposite side of the park. We are here with a resolution that would authorize the city to accept $350,000 grant from the Department of Deep Energy and Environmental Protection that would be designed. It's a construction grant, so it is right now we have a design process going on for reprogramming the east lawn side of Elizabeth Park. Frank Del Ripa is working with the West End Civic Association on these plans, and right now the master plan has been the services for the master plan have been advertised as an RFP, and the design should be completed this winter. And so these $350,000 in grant funds are designed to support construction of elements that are designed through the process that we're currently engaged in. And those can include things such as another basketball court, a walking exercise circuit, a playscape, shade trees. There's a lot of different ideas that are being vetted and will be kind of finalized in the master plan, working with our community partners. So again, we're here because we have to enter into an assistance agreement, and that requires city council approval in order for us to do that and accept the money from DEEP. So again, happy to answer any questions.
So Director Looney, I've had some inquiries, particularly for people who live around that area of the park who aren't as active in West End Civic, and their concern is that they have not had any input. Is there a finalization on what will actually be happening, and how is that process going to go?
Well, right now we are, as I mentioned, in the process of putting out the RFP for the design, and as part of that work over the winter and going into probably into the early to mid spring, we're going to have community engagement in terms of assisting that consultant, that firm, in coming up with what's the best mix of construction elements for this side of Elizabeth Park. So nothing is carved in stone at this point. There's still going to be plenty of time for engagement with not just WECA, but with any resident of the West End and any resident of Hartford for that matter.
And you'll let us know when those community conversation engagements would happen so we can get it out to our constituents?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Councilman Gale?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to follow up on your comment, Madam Chair, I would note that membership in WICA it comes at no cost. Anybody can sign up, and any constituent that has an email address will then get a weekly newsletter from WICA. And you have, it comes with no obligation. You don't have to go to a meeting. You don't have to do anything. But if you're getting the weekly newsletters, you're going to know when when WICA at least is involved in.
I think they're aware of that, Councilman Gale. It's a whole other thing, as you may know.
Well, so for whatever it's worth, it's for anybody out there.
Yep.
Certainly any West End resident or West End residents really for the NRZ. Join the NRZ, put your name on the email list. You'll always know what's going on. For you, Director Looney, as you may know, Councilman Rossetti and my names are on a resolution looking to reconstruct a Parks and Rec department within the city of Hartford. And in part of those conversations, we discussed the fact that there was a time when every park and most of the schoolyards had a green box. And in that green box, there were all kinds of great things that a recreation advisor could provide to kids and adults who came to the park to recreate. So I would just throw my 2 cents in and say that in the redesign of the East Lawn, it may be if it seems feasible to throw in some sort of a storage structure, small but useful. Because we hope to make more use of the East Lawn as a recreation area for everyone.
And a robust recreation department. There'll be need for many green boxes.
There you go.
Thank you, Councilman Gale. Okay, no further questions, Councilman Gale?
That's it.
If there aren't any, do you have a motion?
I move that we send this back to council with a favorable recommendation.
And I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose, abstain. Motion passes. That brings us to agenda item 2.3, Mayor Bronin with accompanying resolution authorizing the city to accept a $2 million grant from the state from DEEP and to execute related documents for the purpose of constructing a new entrance to Goodwin Park, as well as nearby sidewalks and lighting on Maple Ave. Agenda item 3.6, council meeting 9/12/22. Again, Director Loon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, we're here tonight on an additional resolution authorizing the city to accept the $2 million grant from DEEP, this time for Goodwin Park and the Maple Avenue area. This $2 million is designed to extend the current streetscape elements that come south on Maple Avenue from Berry Square and terminate about halfway between Berry Square and Goodwin Park, and make that final connection to the park, as well as constructing new entrance to the park at that Maple Avenue South Street intersection. Also, there'll be some, I think, additional work done on the trails right nearby the entrance. It's not designed to, $2 million will not get us all the way through the park and then up the trail, up the pathway, all the way to the golf course. But those would be items that we'd be looking to get funding for at some future time, so we could build upon the connection made at the new entrance with Maple Avenue. So again, that we're here tonight for authorization to proceed with the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection to accept this funding. And ideally, we'd like to see construction commence sometime next summer, probably the second half of the summer, but that's what our time frame is on this.
Councilman Gale?
I have no particular questions on this one.
And you know, as someone who spent a considerable amount of my youth behaving myself extremely well in Goodwin Park, I appreciate any improvements to my old stomping grounds. So with that said, is there a motion?
Yes, I move to send this back to council with a favorable recommendation.
And I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose, abstain. Motion passes back to council favorably. So with that said, how do you like that, Mike? What do we got? 550.
Not bad.
Madam
Yes,
Chair,
yes, Councilman.
if I may,
Yes.
you know, Frank has been sitting here patiently, and we haven't called upon him. He hasn't said a
Maybe
word.
Frank's happy we haven't, John.
Well, I want to give a shout out to him, so it's I'm not going to call on him, but although he certainly can comment for me. But I don't know if the chair is aware, but underneath the bridge on Park Street, the railroad bridge just to the west of the Parkville Market, we now have some LED lighting. And I went through there the other night, and it was a brilliant purple glow under that bridge. I'm waiting to see it in multicolor, but I've seen a picture of it in multicolor, and I understand that this was something that Mr. Della Ripa was largely responsible for making happen, and I think it's fantastic. We got to get
I'm
gotta get
glad
more of
that
it.
show. Yeah, I
Well,
wanted to.
Thank
go
you,
ahead, I'm
Frank.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that we have to be careful of the different colors because cars obviously can see those colors. We don't want to distract drivers. It's different than a walking tunnel. You know what I mean? So I got to talk to Mike about how we want to handle that, because you have really it's an infinite amount of colors and different types of blinking lights. It's unbelievable.
Well, we got to see some light shows. I know the one place that I'd seen this before in Birmingham were on city streets.
Really?
They
people
were on,
car-
yeah, the Birmingham
Okay.
Railroad bridges. They're bridges. They're on city streets, and it is the case that people do tend to pull over sometimes and just stop to enjoy the light show. But hopefully they pull over and don't.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to stay up past 8 o'clock some night and go see them. But
Well, yeah, if you want
thank
to,
you,
we
Frank.
can set it up. We can set it up. You can come out and we can show you the different colors. It's all done
Great.
through a terminal.
Okay,
You let us
And we'll-
know.
we'll play some music from the 70s. Okay, that would be great. Let's do that. John, you and I can do that. All right. Well, thank you,
Okay.
Frank, and thank you, Attorney Del Visco, and thank you, Director Looney. So I have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.